it's not already starting. What we did is we have dropped. Thank you, ladies, for coming. Thank you all for coming. Before anybody else leaves, thank you all for coming. I'm a little long-winded. I apologize, Bill. What we did was is we lowered the income tax rate from 6% to 4.7%, and we did that without any transfer, without any switch from one taxation format to another. And of course, they were telling us at the time that we were going to cripple the economy. But in point of fact, the general revenue went up when we lowered the income tax. Because as it turns out, the income tax taxes people who produce in this state, and they are indeed the engines of the economy of this state. And I had one young lady in one of my town halls, and she was clearly left of me, which is a lot, but she was left of me. And she said, why would you think that lowering taxes would increase the economy? And I said, well, because in the 46 years that I've worked, I've never once gotten a job from a poor person. That's why. Everybody who ever wrote my paycheck had more money than I did. If we can unshackle the economic producers of this state, it will cause the economy to rise, which is a rise that lifts all ships. There will be others, there will be some that are going to make a boatload of money, and others that will not make as much. I'm not doing this to try to help Johnny Morris make more money. I'm doing this so that when Johnny Morris makes more money, he'll also hire more people. And there'll be more families provided for, more kids fed, more opportunities, and the future generations can continue. We stand at the precipice of changing the way government works to get out of the way of people. That's what it's all about for me. That's why I carried the Missouri Fair Tax in the House. 4 times in a row it's been filed under my name. You can look it up. And I believe in it. Not because of Amendment 5, not because of Governor Kehoe, not because of Curtis Trent, although he's a good friend. It's because I believe in the principle. And I always have. Yeah, sure. Okay. Jump in there. You'll have to hit me with a crowbar.
We don't have a hook, so no. I just want to piggyback on what Darren's points. He's made just excellent points, and that's why he's here. So, if we look at people talk about, and this is a comment I've heard is, well, how are we going to trust our legislature? Okay, well, we have a legislature right now that has already lowered our state income tax rate from 6% to 4.7%. We have a state legislature right now that has eliminated the state capital gains tax. And the other corollary to that is, well, how are we going to restrain this? This is just the legislature is just going to have a free-for-all, and they can do whatever in the world that they want. This is actually one of the most critical ways to where we can restrain and have a check and balance on the state legislature. Because the only way that the state legislature can spend more money is if the economy of Missouri grows. That top line number of total revenue, GDP output for the state of Missouri, as that goes up, then sales tax revenues go up as well. That's the only way that the legislature can get more money. The other thing is that I hear people say, hey, you know what, how are they going to replace $50 billion, the entire Missouri state budget? General revenue is not. I mean, the state income tax does not generate $50 billion in revenue. General revenue is about $7.8 billion annually. That's what is being replaced. One other quick thing is with the detail question. Well, not all the details are in there. Well, we have seen, and you can't compare us to this state or that state or whatever, and invariably they point to Kansas. Look at Kansas. Kansas is in a massive physical crisis right now. And they eliminated the state income tax. That's true. But what did they do? They put time parameters, and they put rate parameters in the state constitution. They hamstrung themselves. They put the details in the Constitution. That is why that does not work. So now what?
They've been spending.
And they did not cut spending either, because that is very much true. All these things are what we are doing here in Missouri, that we're putting the details in state statute, and the legislature is cutting spending. And so, we know what works, we know what doesn't work, we know when you tax productivity, you tax hard work, you tax innovation, you tax anything, you get less of it. We know that, every single time it's tried. That's what happens. So, Missouri has learned from other states' mistakes. They've learned from 5,000 years of economic history, and I think that we're doing this the correct way, a prudent way, and in a way that's in the best interest of all the citizens of Missouri, whether they agree with this Amendment 5 or not. Any other questions?